I grew up doing theater and watching my mother in theater, and I just couldn't imagine doing anything else but entertaining people.
Copper comes from Arizona. Peaches.
Then I moved down into Los Angeles and went to school at California Institute of the Arts in Valencia. And I started to take singing lessons with my daughter's vocal coach. And she said, "You need to audition for something, and I've got the perfect thing for you." I keep meeting all these people who have helped me on this journey of singing jazz.
When you hold me tight, something in my head starts reeling.
And I decided I wanted to go see Paula West at the Raz Room. She was amazing. She brought tears to my eyes in a couple of her songs. And she kept saying, and my piano player, George Mesterhazy, wrote that arrangement. And they were brilliant arrangements. And I hadn't been singing that long, and I turned to my husband at the time and I said, "I'm going to go up and ask him if he'll write an arrangement for me." Well, the worst thing he can say is no. So before he even left the stage, I was up there saying, "Hi, I'm Lisa Lindsley. Do you write arrangements for other people?" And he said, "Sometimes. Buy me a drink and let's talk."
I don't even remember that. But it's probably true, I'm sure. Yeah.
And he said, "Meet me out in the lobby." And so we went out and we sat at the bar and had a drink or two. And we just talked, and it was like that electricity happened from the moment we
I
sat
felt your
down.
positive energy, and that you had which you still have this great life force about you.
And he said to me, "I'm here for 6 weeks. Do you cook?" And I said, "I'm a great cook." And he said, "I need some healthy meals while I'm here, and I get really tired of eating out. I'll tell you what, I'll write 5 charts for you. Every time we get together, if you cook me a meal, that would be great, and I'll charge you this amount of money." And I said, "It's a deal."
Bringing it back
Okay,
to
I'm going to watch your hands, so don't be afraid to conduct me, okay?
The very first chart we worked on was "Every Time We Say Goodbye." And I had picked this that I wanted to work on. It was my favorite Cole Porter song. And he said to me, "So, you want to do Every Time We Say Goodbye?" He said, "Not everybody can do that, you know." And I said, "Why not?" And he said, "Because people don't want to give it space. The pauses that it needs to really create something spectacular."
When you're near, there's such an air.
He wrote this beautiful, beautiful chart. And we spent the next 6 weeks, 3 or 4 days, maybe even more every week. And we would walk up and down the hills of San Francisco, and we would stop and maybe get a cup of coffee or grab some dim sum, and we forged this deep, amazing relationship.
It was very creative. I mean, that was the most important thing. We could just keep sparking each other.
And he said, "What are you doing on Saturday?" And I said, "Nothing." He said, "Let's make an album." And I said, "Oh, George, I haven't been singing that long. I can't make an album." And he said, yes, you can. Find me a place that has a Steinway." And he said, "Saturday we'll record."
We haven't rehearsed anything. We haven't planned anything out. I didn't even know what I would record. And you said, "Bring your books."
And then he said, "Oh, let's do The Very Thought of You." And I said, "Oh, okay." The very thought of you, and I forget to do the little ordinary things that everyone ought to do. You hear about these moments where the universe smiles down on you and says, "This is going to be the most amazing moment you could possibly ever imagine." Shing! And that's what it was in the studio that day.
Why do I just wither and forget all resistance when you and your charm passes by?
We just literally, without any rehearsal,
My heart's
would record. We got most of them on a first or second take. That's because George was so brilliant at what he did.
The most important thing about making really good music is getting an emotional connection. Same one that made our friendship good, same one we felt when we had that first spark when we met.
And we would just really connect. I'm singing in the microphone, and I'm just looking right at George, and he's playing the piano, and magic happened.
That's gonna work really well right there, huh?
and I feel
We got it. We
Okay,
got it.
all right.
That's right. That's right.
Let's mix and master this, which we did. And then I, got it pressed, and I started putting it out for people, and they got reviewed in Downbeat. They loved it, and they gave us 3 stars. When we did our CD release party, I was lucky enough. I had George on piano, of course, and Fred Randolph on bass, and then the wonderful Eddie Marshall on drums. And Eddie played long-time stints with people like Bobby Hutcherson and Stan Getz and Bobby McFerrin. And I couldn't ask for a better rhythm section than what I had that night. Then just a couple weeks ago, I did my debut show at the Metropolitan Room in New York with George and this amazing bass player, Brian Glassman, and John Mealy on drums. It was fabulous. That was the special night that we performed, and there was just nothing like that at all. I'll miss that very much, being able to do that with George.
say goodbye. I wonder why.
When George passed away about 2 weeks ago, my plans changed. George and I had just discussed how we were going to make another album. We forget that on a turn of a dime, your entire life can take another direction.
Thank you.